Hey Clear Lake peeps, Ross England here with Clear Lake Guide Service. First and foremost, you guys helped me to the fire last week that I missed 2 weeks worth of videos, or not videos but fishing reports, and apologize for that. My wife desperately needed a vacation to get away, so we made that happen. We took a week off, went up in the Sierra and hid out. Found some 73-degree air temperature and just had a real nice enjoyable week away. So I'm back. This is going to be a little bit of a rambling report because I got a lot of stuff I want to cover. First and foremost, today is July 9th. Water temperature starting out this week 73 degrees up to about 75, 76 at the end of the day. The temperatures that you may find around the lake might be different depending on where you are. Water clarity, if you can get underneath this nasty stuff, it's not that bad. You can see about 3 feet, 3.5 feet, depending on the area that you're in the lake. But right now, the algae bloom is revisiting, so the best news I can tell you how to avoid it: get out early. These cooler temperatures overnight and these long nights, this stuff dies back and it kind of clears off first thing in the morning and doesn't start really firing up again until, midday, like right about now, noon, somewhere in that range, and then it'll start to get nasty. So lake level, it's 3.23 feet, so it's a little bit low for this time of year, but not much. Don't forget we didn't get filled this year. I think we only got up to about 4.5 feet. So there's your water conditions. Actual things happening on the lake. First and foremost, I am tickled to death that this is my first week back guiding. It's been a long period of time between now and March 15th, 16th, which was the last day that I was able to work. This virus thing is cutting into everybody's lives, and I just hope that you and your family are healthy. That's the best I can do. Everything is, let's see, activities around here. In 2 weeks, not this coming week, but the following week, the WON Bass Northern Open is going to take place. And that's an event that runs during the week. Billy does a good job of running a tournament, so hopefully this is a tough time of year to run tournaments on Clear Lake. The water conditions are in pretty bad shape, and if the guys aren't careful taking care of fish, we'll end up with a lot of dead fish. So we're really hoping that with Billy's experience and the level of the competitor who's going to be fishing in these events, that they'll be really taking care of business, having an extra live well, fuses, whatever it is that they need in their boat to be able to take care of breakdowns and whatnot. So that's about the activities that have been going on. Fishing. Fishing this week has been interesting. It's been a lot harder than I thought it should be, and it's a lot harder than it was, in my opinion, from a couple of weeks ago. It's changed. We've averaged 10 fish per rod, we'll call it, with a high of 20 fish per rod, which was yesterday. So we're getting off to a good start in the morning, and each morning is a little bit different, but Topwater has been getting us off to a good start, and in most cases it's produced our best fish of the day. And that's wherever I can find just clear enough water to be able to work a bait. There's lots of weed beds around. There's a lot of just floating junk that tends to foul stuff up. We've been getting out early, and that makes it a little bit harder because you can't really see where you're throwing sometimes. I haven't really talked to anybody. I'm sure there's a frog bite somewhere. Everything that we're throwing has got a treble hook on it. Once the topwater bite kind of fizzles out, then we're switching over to either a jig or some form of plastic, moving out to 20 to 25 feet, at least for us this week, or moving up to shallow docks and just working through them. It's kind of hard on the docks because there's so much grass that's hanging around the pilings. It's hard work, and it requires a little bit of a premium on casting ability, being able to put a bait where it needs to go. But I still rate the fishing as good, not as good as it was 2 weeks ago. But if you're doing the right thing in the right place, there's some pretty good fish to be caught. The interesting thing that I'll share is we really haven't caught what I would call a fish that was heavy for its size on the upper end of the lake. Most of those fish are coming from the narrows and below. And what I mean by that, the classic Clear Lake fish that just looks short, stocky, fat, like it's been eaten for 5 weeks. We just haven't found any of those fish. In fact, some of the fish that we're finding up here on the upper end of the lake are outright skinny. They're beyond post-spawn type fish. They're just flat, thin. Have not seen a whole lot of bait around. I got into one place yesterday where inside a weed line we saw just thousands and thousands and thousands of minnows that were in the 1.5 inch range. Not 100% sure what they were. They could have been crappie, they could have been threadfin shad. I'm not sure. I never could really get a good enough look at one. Where we found it, we found bass. So, as far as I'm concerned, there's a really, really shallow bite, and then there's a deep bite. It looks like the Wednesday night guys who, usually start about 5 o'clock in the evening and fish, I think, till 9 or 10. It looks like their weights are starting to improve a little bit, so if you're inclined to being a night fisherman, it might be time to start coming out and start dinking around with that. Other than that, that's about it. It's going to be a relatively short report. It's gotten hot again. I hope you and your families are safe. Hope all is well. Hope this virus thing ends in the near future. I know it won't, but I know we're all kind of sick of it. I'm just really super happy to be back to work. So if you check our booking calendar, if you want to get out here, we've been booking, and we're probably going to continue to book no matter what happens through the end of the year. So if you have any questions about what's going on, send me a text message. It's always the best way to get a hold of me at 707-349-1427. We've got a couple more days out here this week, and hopefully we can stay on track with giving you a weekly report like we were doing pretty faithfully there for a while. So, guys and gals, be safe. We'll talk to you next week.